Hey everyone, I wanted to just catch up with you all. I haven't done a monthly favorites or roundup in some time. Just haven't really felt called to, and the days just blend together and go by so quickly. But I did want to chat with you all, and so what I thought I'd do is just kind of do a quarterly highlights type of deal where I just talk to you about a selection of decks and other tarot related things from January up until now, which is the beginning of April. I'm not going to go over everything, but just for you to get a flavor of what I've been up to and what I've been enjoying. So this year I have been making a lot of effort to be more intentional with my consumption. And so I haven't purchased any decks so far yet. This year I have received a couple as lovely gifts and then a couple in trades. But as far as purchases go, not yet. Although I did pre-order one deck and I have another that I backed on Kickstarter. But anyways, it's been because I haven't been buying new decks. I have had the time to work more with the decks in my library, which has been fabulous. So in the past, what I would do is I would take the full month to work with a deck. And usually that would coincide with the fact that that deck was new. So I would get a new deck and I would decide, okay, this is the month I'm really going to get to know this deck. But again, since I haven't been really purchasing decks, it's afforded me some time to reconnect with the ones that I have. And so the last few months have been about just kind of picking decks as the mood strikes me. What am I in the mood to work with? And so that's been a lot of fun. So let me start off with, and this is actually newer to my collection, and this is a lovely gift from Jason over at Tarot by the Pines. This is the Golden Girls Tarot. And I was using this deck a lot for my morning draws. I would do a quick 3-card spread, and I found that this was an easy deck to work with. It definitely falls in line with RWS, and I think the art is fabulous because these characters actually look like the actors in the show. And I think also a part of why this deck has worked well for me is that while as a kid, I watched this show religiously. I loved this show, but I haven't rewatched any of the seasons since then. I've certainly caught episodes here or there, but so I'm a little bit removed from the show. I do know the main characters and I know what their personalities are like. I recall other supporting characters like Stan and Big Daddy, but several of these cards I believe are references to particular episodes, and I haven't retained a memory of a lot of specific episodes. And I think that actually works in my favor because I have found that with themed decks that are based on, say, a movie or, I don't know, a show, I have found that if I'm too much a fan of that piece of work, I get really caught up in that and I get fixated on, say, a particular scene that was chosen to illustrate a card. And You know, sometimes I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, I know that scene in that movie, and I would not have chosen that for that card. So I had just found myself, again, getting just too caught up in that, too fixated on that, which would then limit my working with the deck and limit the messages that I would receive. And so since then, I have stopped purchasing themed decks like that for that very reason. But because I have that distance from the Golden Girls, I have found that the readings come very easily for me, and I am not limiting myself. You know, my personal take on certain details or episodes aren't filtering through and then becoming a blockade to the messages. So, you know, it's funny. I was planning on doing a review of this deck, but I think I just gave you one. So this is your review of the Golden Girls Tarot. As a person who knows Golden Girls, has watched Golden Girls, but is not a super fan, if you will, who has all of the seasons memorized and all that, I would say that this is a great deck. This is a great deck. It's a nostalgic deck. It does remind me of my youth and watching this show and just loving it, So the cardstock, I know people have complained about the cardstock. I like it. I am a riffle shuffler and a bridger, and these both riffle, shuffle, and bridge beautifully. I cannot attest to how well they will withstand time, because I haven't had this deck for very long, but I don't really mind the cardstock at all. So that is my, I guess, review of the Golden Girls Tarot. As someone, once again, who is not completely immersed in, you know, the Golden Girls verse, you should check out Jason's video. I can't remember if I mentioned that I would link it. I will link it. He is a fan. He knows the episodes, so he'll give you a better idea. And there are other videos out there that'll give you a better idea, if you're a huge fan, how well they do in terms of matching up certain scenes from episodes to the meanings of the cards. I have also worked a lot with the Morning Calm Oracle by C.O. Kelleher. And whoopsies, I dropped some cards. And I had devoted, I think actually a full month to working with the Morning Calm and just doing a daily pull and journaling about it, which is wonderful. It's very calming, very therapeutic, and pulled out again recently, feeling like I kind of needed this kind of ancestral and cultural energy. So this has been a great deck. And speaking of CO, I did actually do a couple live readings with her, and it was towards the end of, was it March? My first time doing live readings, scared shitless, did it anyway. I survived. But anyway, for one of those readings, I used the Light Seers Tarot, which was a deck that I was pulling out a lot at the beginning of the year. Despite it feeling like a very spring, summery deck, I was pulling it out in January and February, probably because I needed the feeling of spring and summer. But I actually used this in that live reading session, and it just works beautifully. It's a go-to for me for when I have read for friends, and so I knew this would be a great choice for reading for doing live readings, especially ones that are kind of sometimes, depending on the duration, you know, of these kind of live readings and how many people are coming through to get a reading. Sometimes they have to be a little bit on the quick and dirty side. And so these cards are great for that. And I know that I think people feel like this deck is very overexposed and they're sick of seeing it, and it's like, oh my god, if I see that deck one more time, I'm going to vomit. But there is a reason. There is a reason that this gets a lot of attention, because it's a great reader. So this is a deck that I received in a trade, the Mystic Mondays Tarot. Another deck that feels kind of, spring, summer because of its vibrant colors. And I really have enjoyed working with this deck. I think it is the colors and just how vivid they are, it just makes me happy. It just puts me in a more kind of energized state. And it just, I don't know, it brings more cheer. So if I'm in a mood, this is kind of like a hug deck, I guess, because it's just so pretty. And it makes me smile. And I love how it's pippish. And so you get a bit of a different take on the card imagery, which I always love as a different perspective. So I really had a great time working with this deck as well. Still a bitch to shuffle, I'm not gonna lie. I have been trying to practice my overhand shuffling. I've said before. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. That's the only thing I would complain about, is this cardstock is really stiff, cardboardy, but trying to practice the overhand shuffling, and we're making a little bit of progress. So that was the Mystic Mondays Tarot. So another deck that I worked with, which I forgot to pull out because it's just a car crash right here. You don't want to see this, but it was the Moon Void Tarot. I worked with it a few times, and especially after the shootings in Atlanta, I did pull out that deck to do a reading about that event. And for me, it's the Moon Void Tarot is a very, very introspective deck, and that actually happens to be the deck that I backed on Kickstarter. Stephanie Capone, the creator, put a 3rd edition on Kickstarter, and it's the changes are pretty dramatic. She's introduced pink, she's redone the artwork of the main character, has changed several of the card images, and so because this deck means a lot to me, and because I really overall like the changes of what I was seeing in the 3rd edition, I went ahead and backed that deck. But in any case, so yeah, I did decide to use the Moon Void, the 2nd edition, for that particular reading, and I documented it in my journal, made pictures of, I just did a 3-card spread. The question I asked is personal, but yeah. Lenormand. I worked with all my Lenormand decks over the last 3 months because I only have 6. I have a small selection, so I was able to kind of cycle through my Lenormand decks, and I devoted a lot of my mornings. So I would switch out between, say, the Golden Girls, and then decide to do a morning Lenormand spread instead. And I think actually for much of March, I just did Lenny pulls in the mornings. So I'll just show you a few of the Lenny decks that I used. One being the Afro Goddess Oracle by Andrea Furtick. Just beautiful, beautiful artwork. I don't know if you can see the detail, the image of the outline of Africa here, but it's just beautiful. And it's velvety. It's not quite, I think, it feels like rose petal, and yet not as like sticky as rose petal. It's very nice. It's a very nice kind of matte finish. It is definitely on the larger side as far as Lenormand goes, but it's just beautiful. I always enjoy this imagery. And so this was perfect for my morning draws. Once again, a quick 3-card spread. That's what I typically try to do for my mornings, just make it quick and dirty. Lenormand, I will usually pull at the minimum 3 cards. With tarot, it'll vary. Lately, I've been doing 3 cards. Sometimes I will just do a one card, quick 1-card pull. But this has been a lovely deck to work with. I've also been working with the Sawyer's Path Lenormand tiles by Jamie Sawyer. These are always a good time. Just so fun. Love her art. Oh, here's the back. Here's her sigil. So beautiful. So much fun. I am very tempted to buy her tarot tiles. They are an investment, and so I'm just waiting for the right deck to pop up, and then I will definitely treat myself to a set of her tarot tiles, I'm hoping. So yeah, but these were a lot of fun. And they've held up so well. It's a quality set of tiles. And then finally, just one more Lenormand deck. And that would be my Storytale Lenormand. Because I know this deck inside and out, I mean, this was a no-brainer for me as well. And just in general, Lenormand is a very much kind of cut and dry type of system, which is why I like it so much. This was another one that I would pull. And there's that. A deck that has recently come into my possession. Complete surprise, once again, from Tarot Godmother. I just can't even. It's the Tarot Mystical Moments. I am just beside myself with excitement. So some of you might know how much I've been kind of battling whether I should take the plunge on this deck. And so at one point, I think it was like Sunday morning, like 3 in the morning, I was having insomnia. And I did what I always do, which is like, I'm on my phone, I'm doing shopping, and I did order this deck. And I then just later, I think it was on Monday. Monday, I received the deck and I returned it right away. I just returned it that very day because I was like, Julie, we do not do insomnia-induced purchases anymore. Remember? We're not doing that. And so I did return it. And also felt sad about it because I'm like, oh, should I have like taken a closer look? Should I have tried it out? Should I have, I was kind of feeling sad about that. But yeah. And then what is it, like the next day or like 2 days later, this showed up in my mailbox and I was like, what is this? Oh my God, happy day. So I've already looked through the cards and read through the little guidebook and I am in love. I'm in love. So I will let you know how this deck fares as I work with it throughout the month. But thank you, Queen Osset. This really lifted my mood for sure. I was just giddy about it. So giddy. Anyway, I think that's all for decks. Yeah. One more thing. I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to Allison over at Tech Coven. She is a tarot tuber in our little village, and not only does she make fantastic content, but she makes her own candles. Yes, she does. And so, of course, I had to purchase some candles from her. So this one is sea salt and citrus. And I haven't lit any of these yet, but Here is her URL so that you can also check out the goodies in her shop. And it's 100% soy candles, hand poured in Toronto, Canada. And then this one is lavender and sage. So they just smell so divine. So do check out her shop. I think she has like stickers and other little goodies in there as well. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm gonna end it there because we're at what, almost a half hour. And yeah, I think we're good, right? We're good. So I hope you all are doing well. And by the way, I also got my first COVID shot today. Okay, I hope you're all well. I hope you're all safe. And I'll see you soon in the next video. Take care.